Hey guys, it's me Delta One here with God's Airsofters, and today I have a review of the Elite Force 1911A1. And just throwing it out there, we will be comparing it to a Real Steel Colt 1911. So stay tuned for that later on in the video. Now this I got from TX911gear.com. I'm sponsored by them. So they sent this to me to review, so let's get on with the box. The box, it's flashy, they've got stars all over it and whatnot, and then they have all the specifications, 345 FPS with a .2, then you've got, you know, metal gun and blowback and 14 rounds, which is a lie because, whatever, I'll get into that later. It's powered by CO2, and it's got all this other flashy stuff on it in Elite Force. And it's got warnings, and then it's got more detailed operations on the back. So let's open this up and see what it comes with. Open it up. First you'll see you've got Elite Force stuff, gun registration so you can register your gun, and then you've got Elite Force BBs and whatnot. Then we have the Elite Force manual. Mine came a little, I bent it and stuff. It's the only manual ever that I've ever messed with in airsoft history, ever, that does not have Chinglish. Actually, and you get notes. You can write notes and stuff. Then you get a Allen key for the CO2 mag, so you can put your CO2 in. We left CO2 in it just so I can shoot it during review and show y'all what it's like. Then you get the gun. Packaging is okay. I prefer to have the foam over styrofoam, so that's just me. But the box is nice, and it's a good way to transport the gun when you need to. So here is your 1911. Put the mag in. There's no ammunition. So first impressions, when I first got this gun, I was expecting this to be completely off scale, and we'll go into that later. Overall, I'm impressed. This is rebranded, and I know a lot of people like to say it's OEM, but basically it's the same principle. So Elite Force contacted KWC and had it made to their specifications, which is just rebranding because Echo One basically does the same thing. So it's rebranded, whatever. So metal and plastic components. Basically the entire frame of the gun is metal and these are plastic. The grips are indeed plastic. You do have an orange tip which is threaded. It is not a 14mm. It's a special pistol thread. I'm not 100% sure what threading it is, but I'll probably post information about that in the description later. Now, the features. It has the magazine release, which does work. The magazine does come out. It does not eject out like the G&G Extreme 45. You have the beaver tail safety, and then you have your regular standard safety, which is right here, which won't work, which is right there, there. Then you have your slide lock, which is right there. Then on the other side of the gun, it's the same. So disassembly is almost identical to a real one. Disassemble the gun, take out the mag, pull the slide back to about there, push out the pin, which can kind of be a bit of a pain sometimes. Careful not to lose that little piece right there. Your slide comes off. Now, the spring in here isn't really strong. I would like a more recoil spring on it just to have a better return, because sometimes it does get stuck. So, it's kind of disappointing. But in order to get it apart, you just simply push this spring, that comes out, and that's pretty much all there is, except in further disassembly this twists off and it comes out, but I don't want to go into further disassembly because it's just, I don't like gas guns. I have the worst luck with gas. I'm not one of the big gas guys. My buddy is. So, now, other features on the gun. Include me taking forever to disassemble this because I'm not good with gas stuff. There we go. Put the mag in. Now, actually I'm going to take it out real quick. The beaver tail safety does actually work on this gun, which is very nice. WEs, I've pulled the trigger on a WE and not pushed the beaver tail safety in, and it just went off. So one of the features it has is it says Elite Force 1911, which I hate it when companies put their own trademarks on. As you can see there, that is incredibly annoying. And especially this Cal 6mm. I understand it's airsoft, and I can see that. And then it has its own individual serial numbers. Right here it says Made in Taiwan, and then it has this ridiculous painted on safety thing. It says don't point it at your eye and shoot yourself, which is pretty self-explanatory. I think that should have been a sticker, but that's just me. Now the feel of the gun. It does feel like a 1911. You do grab it, you pull the trigger, and it's got the 1911 sights. This is just one of those pistols. It's just a huge iconic pistol. I mean, almost every American ever would be able to tell you this is a 1911. I mean, this one isn't like an original. It's not based off of an original styled one, because it does have the lanyard. Most of the newer 1911s have that, from what I've seen. But, you know, here's what it is. One thing I do want to say is the first question I know I'm going to get is, can you use regular green gas magazines in this gun? That is a good question. I don't think so, because KWC is known for CO2 only, and they do a good job at it. I mean, which is good. But, I mean, that's one thing, and I'm just going to show y'all real quick the blowback. Which, here's one thing that kind of, I know it's an airsoft gun, but this is kind of a little puzzling to me. So, I didn't rack the slide at all. I'll even take it out. Okay, didn't rack it. I should not be able to do this. Just pulled the hammer back. That doesn't make sense to me. So, I thought that was pretty funny. But the kick to this it's substantial. KWC has been known for the recoil on their guns, and quite frankly, I think they do a good job. But with recoil comes breaking parts. So fair warning, this gun, I'm not saying it's gonna break like immediately, but I'm just saying after a good 6 months of use, this gun could break. Parts will break, but since Elite Force is US based, you should be able to contact them and get replacements, which is a bonus. That's another good thing about buying from companies like Elite Force. Another feature is it did say on the box that it shot 350 FPS. That is a load of barnacles. I emptied about, even towards the end of the mag, we were getting about 390 on average. So you can use it for CQB, which is... then there's going to be, oh, we'll just put .25s in it. No, that doesn't make sense. Let's shoot an object at the same speed as a .2, and, you know, whatever. I think that's not a smart idea, but you can't use it in CQB, so that's immediately a ginormous con. Unless you want to use it to, like, a quarter of the mag, and then it, you know, be completely out. One of the other cons I found with it is I like my 1911s. If it's an A1, I want a single stack, but this is more of a personal preference. But this does hold, I believe I got it to hold 17, and then plus 1 you could get 18. So it holds a lot more than what it says, so that's good in a way, but if you're going for realism, not so much. I would like to see any 1911 hold 14 rounds anyways. So, yeah. FPS is an issue. This gets really loose. It's screwed in right there, the lip to the mag, so I'd be really careful with that, because this, I guarantee you, is not going to be made out of steel anywhere, except for it's grabbing onto the CO2 cartridge. And I believe, there's some it's grabbing onto steel right here, so there's something in there made out of steel. Which is, I bet it's the guide rod, but Anyways, let's move on to the internals. KWC, I don't know much about gas internals, but I know this for a fact. If I was to get a CO2 gun, I would get KWC. KWC has been known for their CO2 stuff, and they basically made this. So this is really what you want to use if you're using CO2. This is a great pistol for people who live up north in like North Dakota where it's like -25, which sucks because you go outside and like before your piss hits the ground it's frozen. That's when you know it's cold. So this is a great gun for people who live overseas in like the UK. This is a great, you know, cold temperature weapon. Pretty much KWC is known for the internals. I really don't know much about it, so I do apologize. I don't know everything, nor do I intend to be the guy that says he does know everything. So, I mean, other than that, I would say it's pretty good. I mean, the bullets flew pretty straight. The hop-up was great. The barrel's great. I mean, overall, I went into this review thinking this thing would be like a piece of garbage. I really did. And I'm impressed. I can honestly say this is a really decent pistol. So, I would say it's pretty good. So, let's do a small, short comparison. I will have another video of a full, in-depth comparison between this and a real 1911. So, here's the real 1911. This is a target competition match grade target shooting 1911 that's made by Colt. This is a Colt 1911. This is a genuine 45 1911. I can't stretch that enough. The only difference is it has between this is the extended beaver tail safety, this, and then the safety selector switch is different, and that it has different sights and a hammer is different. But this overall is a real 1911. Now right here I have a caliber reader, or there's so many names for these. I call them, yeah, it's a digital caliber reader. So I'm going to turn this on, and I'm going to measure in inches for you. So from, well, I can't measure that, so I'm going to measure the width of the pistol. So right here it says it is about, I moved it a little bit, it is about 92% of an inch, or 0.92. So that's how wide that is for the real one. And it is off by about 1. When I moved it, it said not 0.95, but it was 0.93. So it's off literally by 1. That's small. I think this would be better to do in millimeter, because millimeters are smaller and whatnot. So that's another thing. Now the pistol grips. Measure how wide that pistol grip is right there. That is 57.2. Now let's measure the 1911, the real one. Ooh, that is dramatically smaller. Well, not dramatically. This is 56.1. So that's kind of smaller. It's not really that big of a deal. Plus, this is custom, so that's probably why this is a little bit smaller. Not too big of a deal. Realistically, the main comparison between this is that this is pretty much the same except for the extended barrel right here. One thing I did notice is when I pull the slide back on here, the barrel does not move back. The barrel does move back, however, on the real 1911, it moves back when you pull back the slide. So that is, in terms of realism, that's completely different. And of course, how hard it is to pull back the slide. So I will go into a further comparison. Video link in the description between a comparison between these two pistols. So go check that out. I don't want to run the video too long by comparing super in-depth. So let's get that out of the way. My personal opinion on this pistol, again, like I said, I went into this review thinking it would be complete and, you know, not that great. But I was wrong. I would actually recommend this pistol to a intermediate person. I wouldn't recommend it to a beginner. I don't recommend CO2 period to a beginner. And the kick, and you know, it could just, I foresee this need to be constant maintenance and repair because it is CO2. CO2 is a lot harsher on your seals. So, but overall the kick is nice. I like that. That is personally, I mean it's literally it's just like ridiculous how strong the kick is on this thing. I was surprised. So, I mean, you got your pistol in your, I mean, this is overall a really decent 1911. So, I mean, other than that, for $105 plus in a warranty in the States and having a manufacturer that you can contact and you can actually talk to someone who speaks perfect English, this is a great pistol. I like it. So, final conclusion, you're getting a 1911 for $100. It's almost to scale with a real one. And other than that, I mean, it's pretty decent. I mean, even my cameraman Mikey, who is a avid airsoft player as well, was even impressed with this pistol. So I'm not the only one. I will figure out, however, if this is compatible and whatnot. So, you know, overall, I mean, it's a decent pistol. So I would recommend this to an intermediate or experienced player. I would not recommend to a beginner. So, guys, I'm happy. Life is good. I have good friends. And I have a 1911. So, guys, I hope you enjoyed this review. And if you're interested in buying this, there's a link in the description to tx911gear.com where you can purchase this pistol for about $105. Keep in mind there is inflation with China, so if you're watching this review later on, our currency does change with Taiwan and any foreign countries constantly. So if the prices go up, I'm sorry, but right now it's about $105. So, guys, life is good, and I'll see you in the next video.